Welcome to the PlansMachine. So far you've managed to register and navigate your way to this page, and this is what you'll see. Now first of all, what we need to do is have a quick look at the main aim of what we're trying to achieve here. So here's a picture that I've prepared earlier, which I'll just bring up there. And of course, as we've used all of the tools and commands to produce our floor plan here, we can, as we're doing it, look at it with the elevations. Now, with the elevations, we can see from all four sides of the building what it will look like. There's our north, east, south, and so forth. Now, we can go back at any stage and we can alter whatever we want within it to suit, and then go back and have another look at our elevations to see what that looks like, and keep doing that over and over again until you are satisfied with the design. Once you are, you can then go to the print PDF here, and as you can see, it will quite quickly bring up your download, which you can then click on the download button there, and that will be sent to your downloads folder. And very quickly as well, it will be ready for you to view. And so here it is, about to pop up. I'll just wait a moment for that to happen. And here it is, as promised. And of course we can go into our folder. There it is there. We can open it up. And there it is as our cover page. There's our floor plan, and there's our elevation pictures. Now with the cover page, your name and the owner's name, the site address, the lot number, and the necessary details are all automatically put there for you, which is why it's important to put that information into the initial project declaration boxes accurately. On the floor plan page here, we've got all of the information pertaining to the different information within the plan itself, and in particular at the top here we've got the floor plan size here, 77.1 square meters. On the elevations page here, we've got all of the claddings and the soffit widths and stud height and all that sort of thing that's necessary. And between these three pages there is a basic preliminary design done by you. Right, next on the things to focus on, we've got three main categories of buttons here. And most importantly, we've got the tools, and then we've got the commands. Now the tools are what we actually use to produce the drawings, and the commands are effectively the things that we use to edit what we've done with the tools. Then of course at the top here we've got the basic explanations about things, and at any stage we can go to the top right here and go back to project, which will take you back to all of this information. All 9 boxes there are very relevant to the whole thing, and you will progressively go through them, and then you can go back to your plans by clicking on the create tool there. Now first of all, up here we've got the read first, which stands for reason that it basically explains to you a few of the things that you need to know in order to have the whole thing make perfect sense for you. The show instructions, hide instructions is very important, because it's the difference between being able to have the instructions for each button pop up like this as you hover your mouse over the particular button. Now every time we want to be reaching for a button, we don't want to have that happening, so we can hide them so that that doesn't happen. And generally what tends to happen is when you get stuck, you'll go along and you'll have a quick look and you'll read all about it, and then you will know what you're doing. It is recommended, of course, that you read them all first. That will save time in the long run, but a lot of people don't like to do it that way, in which case that doesn't matter. The steps to follow, we can click on that, and that will show you through the steps, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And just a quick overview is that we start with step 1, the walls. Step 2 is we place the windows. Step 3 is we place the doors. Step 5, we place the units into it. Then we put the labels into it, and then we can put a roof cantilever and deal with the roof. And so those are the steps, and there's the examples that you can uh, observe to see what exactly is required to be done next. The product links simply takes us to a page where we can click on any one of these pages. We've gone through and selected the most common and popular claddings for both the roof and the external wall claddings in New Zealand, and you can click, it takes you straight to their website so that you can observe what that product is all about and choose if you want to use it or not, or go and have a look at another one and so on. Right, now we can actually get down to the most interesting bit, which is starting to draw the floor plans. Now that's done with the draw tool here, and if you see we click it on, it goes purple, we click it off and it goes away again, and that indicates that the reset button is our default tool. So any of the buttons we can click or reset, and away we go. So with the draw tool, first of all we click it, and then we locate our mouse cursor and we run our first line across what would be the north wall of the house. You can see the box with the red rim around it showing you how long in meters that wall is, and then as soon as you let go of the mouse, that's the end of the wall. We can click on the end of that wall and draw another one, and again, and again, and again, until we have the outside walls of our house, and then when they are all joined up, then the roof automatically appears on it. Now with that we can then move by clicking the move tool here any of the walls we would like, such as that, or we can select it, click on it, go up to its dimension and click on that, and then reorder that size and click change, and it will automatically move that wall to the particular desired dimension. As we draw walls, we need to mention that we can do them, of course, on the standard 90-degree angles. We can pop them up to 30 degrees or 45, and so those are the additional angles we can add. But most of the time walls are just at right angles to each other. Right, now we've got this far, we can put some internal walls in there, which we'll say we'll do like this. Now with this too, you see how quickly all of the ends join up with each other. That is caused by the latch on tool here. Sometimes you might want to have walls in such a way that the latch on tool interferes with it, in which case you can turn it off, and the walls will then cause you to have to be very accurate in where you want to locate them. Now as you saw then, I just zoomed in simply by using the scroll wheel on my mouse, or if you have an older system you can go to the reset tool, and we have the zoom in zoom out facility here. Now when you zoom in and out, you can move it around and all about like such, and then come back into it again, or if you've zoomed right in here and you want to come back to it quickly, you can just click fit screen and there it is. Now also we've got the undo and redo tool, which stands for reason that just undoes the last moves that you did. So you click it, it'll disappear. Undo again, undo, and as you can see we can go backwards all the way to nothing, and then redo it all the way back to where you are. So there's a couple of very handy features to have there. The delete tool obviously just simply means that you can click delete, and whatever you click on, it will just instantly disappear as if it was never there to begin with. Then of course if you realize that you didn't mean to delete it, then you can click the undo tool and put it all back. Now that we've got our walls all located exactly where we want them, the next thing to do is put the windows into our floor plan. We simply obviously click on the Windows button and it brings us up with a small range of options down below here, as we can see. Now we can choose whether we're going to have aluminium windows or wooden windows, and then we can go and choose the width and the height, and then the floor to the top height of the window. Those three parameters are all totally adjustable by you, and then once they're set, we can click on the visual display picker and we can go through and select from the most common variety of window styles that there are. Now if we have this particular window here, now it's drawn very tall and skinny, but we could locate it in being much wider than that, and so forth with all of the rest of them. Now we would select a window and just simply click it into the wall like that. Now once it's in there, we can go to the select tool and we can click on it and we can readjust its sizes, or we can click on center, and well, I must add that once we've readjusted them, then we must click change for that to happen. Or we can also click on it, which will make it go orange there, as you can see, and center it. We can click the move tool and move it, and doing that again, if we click select, then we can click on it and go center opening, and it will move it to the opening. Now of course we can go around the external walls of the house and place as many windows as we would like. Once we've done the windows, next is obviously the doors. Now with them we've got a selection of 6 doors here: front doors, aluminium external doors, wooden front doors, wooden external doors, internal doors and garage doors. So we'll just select the internal doors here. Again, down below we can adjust their sizes, and we can go to the visual display picker and choose what of them we would like, bearing in mind that these are internal doors. So we will put a standard door there, and then let's go and have a look at, and we'll take a cavity slider, we'll put one of those there. We can then, if we want, select them and center them, or move tool and move them. And we also have the rotate tool here, which means that when we click it on, we can rotate that door to all 4 possible swing sides that it could have. The same with the rotate tool here, we can change which opening the slider is going to go into the wall with. So there's our doors and windows being able to be put into the plans very quickly, and at this point here we can start having a look at the elevations to get a general idea of what our windows and the rest of our plans is going to look like. So I'll go and do a bit more work on that and catch up with you very shortly on the next chapter of these instructions. Okay, so now I've gone and put in the rest of the doors and windows. As you can see here, we can go to our elevations and have a look at them, or decide if we like them or not, and decide if we want to change them or not. You can see here I've put in a garage door just for the example purposes, and so changing them is as simple as I explained before, or we could delete them altogether and go and place in something else. In this case I'll change that window for an aluminium external door. I'll choose that one, I'll put that one in there, I'll then select it and center its opening and change its size if I aren't happy with the size. Of course with that we can zoom in and we can clearly see the sizes there on every door and window, and that of course makes it very easy to choose what sizes you would like. Right, so once we've done that, the next step here is to put our units into the floor plan. So we click on the units, and again you can adjust their heights and sizes if required there, but they're quite straightforward because with the visual display picker we can just simply choose one and pop it there. There we go, there's a toilet put right there. We can decide we don't want it there, so we can delete it, and we can then go back to the units visual display picker, click on the toilet and relocate it elsewhere. Once it's located, we can then select the move tool and move it around wherever we would like. We can rotate it in to any of the 90-degree intervals. Again, we can click on it and move it, and it'll just latch onto the wall. You can slide it along the wall accordingly. We can do the same thing with, for example, a kitchen sink here. We will put one up against this wall. We will rotate it so that the tap is facing up against the wall. We will move it along the wall. Then we can click select it. It'll turn that color, and then we can stretch it out to where we want it to be, and then go back and then move it into place. We can do that with all of the different things required, units required for a house. As you see, we've got one of everything here to choose from, and that is what's involved with the units. Now I'll go ahead and I'll put a few more units in there and join you again on the next instruction. Okay, now I've put the remainder of the units required into the floor plan. The next thing to do is to add the room labels, which of course we can simply click on the button. Now we've got a drop down list which labels every kind of room that you could have in a house, and we can also choose whether they're going to be small, medium or large in size. So we're just going to take the medium one for this example. Take the bathroom, simply click it in there, and there it is. We can select the move tool and put it where we would like, and we can also rotate it if need be. But otherwise we can do the rest of the room labels exactly like that. Right then, walls are rather interesting because we can adjust the stud heights between the main parameters and height, the foundation heights, or we can choose whether we will have one or two different cladding types. So in this instance here we'll just start with one, and we will put in, for example, bevel back weatherboards. Click apply, and then what just happened there is that we have the wall thickness drawn onto our plan. At this point we can go to the elevations and see what the weatherboards look like on our house there, and if we don't like them we can go back and say change them for shiplap weatherboards, for example. I'll click apply, have a look at our elevations. There's our shiplap weatherboards. Look at the 4 different elevations. We may still decide that we don't like the look of that, so we will then change it to perhaps horizontal corrugated iron. Click apply and have a look at that and see what that looks like, and so on with all of the rest of them, including bricks, plaster and every other of the most commonly used wall cladding types in New Zealand. Now we can click 2 claddings as such, which will then bring us up the second one here. Its default is shadow clad plywood. I think we'll just leave it for that, with the other one being horizontal corrugated colour steel. Now we can choose where we want that cladding to start, which will say we just want that around the front door, for example. So we'll click there, and we will click there and click apply. And then what has just happened is that the second cladding has changed to a dashed line instead of a solid line to indicate where the change in cladding is. And so if we have a look at the elevations for that, We'll go to the south side. We can see we've got the two different claddings there. Now, just for interest's sake, we will perhaps go and put double brick height there instead of shadow clad. Click apply, and we will see that we have the two different cladding heights now shown. And when we look on the elevations page, go to the south elevation, that is what it would look like. And so we can do quite some amount of experimentation with what cladding types we're going to have and where on our house, and then go and look at it all on the elevations pages, make our final decision. Now, with the roof tool, we can have a choice of three different kinds of roofs. Hip rafters, as we have the default set here. We can have gable ends, which are effectively that, or we can have a flat roof, in which case we select the low side, which we'll take from this side here and apply, and then we'll have a flat roof. Now, with the hip rafters, we can select the roof pitch, and we can select the soffit widths and the type of roof cladding. Now, with the roof cladding, we've also got the visual display picker, which can allow us to choose from corrugated, trapezoidal, or pressed metal tiles. Now, with the the gable ends, we simply click what wall we want to be a gable end, and then go down below and click apply, and it will be changed to a gable end, or we could put it back to a hip rafter. Now, if we have gable ends, we can also have the choice of the soffits for the main soffits and then the gable soffit as well. Also, with the gable, we've got the cladding picker, which is for the gable end cladding, and we can choose what that's going to be. So if we put shiplap in there and we select that and apply our gable there, then when we have a look in the elevations, we can go to our here we go to our elevation and see what cladding type we have got on our gable end. And now if I go to flat roof here and put that as the low side of the flat roof, I can then go here and say adjust that flat roof to 5-degree roof pitch. The side soffits we want at 450. The soffits width on the high side, we'll want that 750, and on the low side we'll leave it at 600. We've chosen trapezoidal colour steel for our cladding, and then we click apply, and there's our flat roof. And if we have a look on the elevations, we can see now that there's our flat roof, north elevation, east, south and west, and there is our roof tool facility. Right, now next on the to-do list is the cantilever, if you do want to have a cantilever. Now, it operates exactly the same way that the draw tool does, but it is used to produce extensions to the roof that are used for the same purpose as a veranda or perhaps a covered entranceway. So just like the draw tool, we can simply treat it like a wall, and it will automatically extend the roof over these little square posts that we've got in each corner. Now we can go back to the roof tool, and we can select the gable ends if we want. For example, click apply, turn that into a gable end. We can also then go and set our soffit widths for it, and do all of the other sorts of things to it that we could normally do with the draw tool, such as move it and or select it and alter its dimensions by doing it like that. Now I'll give another example here. whereby we've got this could be an entranceway to a door, where a fancy front entranceway, for example, and we can simply do that, and there is our entranceway. Or we could, if I undo that, simply just cover the side of it like that, and move it to suit, and do whatever we want with it within all of the command editing tools that we have here. And that's the cantilever tool. The floor tool is terribly simple. It's as straightforward as we can select whether we're going to have a concrete foundation or a wooden timber subfloor. And in it we've got our different room labels here: bathroom, ensuite, kitchen, laundry and elsewhere. And we can naturally select whether we want lino tiles, polished concrete, or whether it's not applicable. For example, if we don't have an ensuite, well, then that would be not applicable. Now we can also choose whether or not we would like to have polystyrene under the floor, yes or no, and we click apply, and that information will all be added to the plans. Okay, now we're just about at the end of these instructions. If you need to go back and watch them again, please do so. Otherwise, we're just going to recap with the elevations. Now, clicking the elevations allows us to see what our design looks like, and as we've drawn this example plan throughout these instructions, this is what it's ended up looking like from the outside, from all 4 of its elevations. We know that we can go and click the print PDF, and we can do that as often as we like and produce as many PDFs as we would like until we've decided upon our final design. Now we can go back to projects with the top button at the top there. We can go to my projects, and we can create as many new projects as we would like. So we can literally have hundreds of different house designs if we would like, and that is all absolutely for free. Also with this, please don't hesitate to use the give us feedback button there, in which case you can add your suggestions of improvement, or if anything appears to not be working properly, you can contact us via this, and we will phone you immediately or email you immediately if need be in regard to it. Otherwise, the last thing to mention is that with the if I go to there, with the whole thing, with the instructions where we can set them on, it does pay to give them a read first. Perhaps not all at once, but as you're going to use each tool, have a read of it, and that will help you make sense of it much quicker. Otherwise, this is the end of the instructions. I hope that you thoroughly enjoy using this product. It is for New Zealand only, and it is the first and only of its kind.